Hello everyone, my name is Minh Thư and I'm from Big Four. I'm a person who will introduce you the group members, table of contents, and the part one of this video, also the part one of the portfolio. Our group member have 4 members and it includes Bảo Thành, Hành Trí, Xuân Kỳ, and me, Minh Thư. And of the table of contents, we have 5 part, background information, and annual return, total risk, systematic risk, and the last but not least, optional question. First, according to the slide, I will tell you about the basic information of the 5 companies that we have chosen to analyze in the portfolio article. This include BNG, Vinamilk, Vietcombank, Hapag Group, and SSI. First of all, about BNG, you can see at the slide, BNG is a big company of the souvenir fashion, accessory, and jewelry nationwide. P&G position can be said to be the leading in retail companies in gold, silver, gems, and jewelry. And this first under the people committed for food district. After a period of time, the sales increased and developed is now not only operating in Phuong. The companies currently have the retail store all around Vietnam. So this is also the reason that our group chose Phuong Jewelry as the first company in our portfolio. The financial performance in the last 3 years of Phuong Jewelry has also put on the slide. It includes total assets, owner equity, revenue, and the profit. And the second company is Vietnam Dairy Product Stock Company. The companies were entered in the 1976 at the state-owned called Coffee Dairy Company. We all know Vinamilk has been a company with a large domestic market, achieving a breakthrough in the early years when the dairy market is not really necessary in Vietnam. Now, Vinamilk always hold the top VN13 and is said to be a blue chip stock for those who don't like the risk. Also, the name of stock ticker and the financial performance have put on both slide and also in the portfolio that we can give in the report. And the third company is Vietcombank. Vietcombank has also no different in the percentage risk because also the blue chip, but it's a different industry. Vietcombank had a big name in the banking industry. Afterwards, in the 1963, the stock peaked in the 95,800 in the beginning of the 2022 and has gradually become a stable level. The company has always maintained its performance when in the past 3 years no loss will be declared in the main business activities. And we also put the price if you want to buy one stock of the company in today is 83,000. HPG, called from Hapag Group Stock Company, owns large market share in the metal industry in Vietnam, is famous for a connection between employees and the company. Although it has not been listed for as long as the 2 stock, the combined Vinamilk is still in the top 10 potential stock that investors have looking for. It can be seen that Hapag Group trends in this year have been partly dark green in the XOSE, although not entirely due to the volatile market. However, it's still enough to show that HPG is a suitable stock for venture capitalists when it has not really hit its peak yet. And last, SSI Security Corporation is a special company because it don't reduce any physical products for the customer, but the value of SSI share is not lower than any other company in our portfolio. Under HOSE, SSI is almost the top of the stock that's being traded most actively when it's honest, which has almost brought a lot of profit to the observant investors in the 2020s. And it's all. I hope that is informative things can give to you because my teammate will tell you more about details in the number of average annual return.
Thank you too for introducing me as well as your very informative presentation on our chosen stock and their company background. And hello everyone, let's come to our second part. We will present our analysis in the categories of annual average return. So, before go to our analysis, let's recall a little bit about the definitions of annual average return. So, in simple word, it's the money that make or lost by a mutual fund. In this context, we see our chosen stock value in terms of annual average return over a given period. We will gonna to make the chart the numbers based on the period from 2017 to first 2 months of 2022, which is approximately like 62 months. So here, we will go step by step and compare each stock to two main components, which is the index and the overall group portfolio. So first we have PNJ. So we can see the PNJ to have a precise value at the first phase. So PNJ has the same movement as VN index throughout the period. And we can see that PNJ seem to have a better output in terms of annual average return. Which in 2017, PNJ have the highest value and is about 80%, while VN index just have slightly like 40% and the half of it. At 2020, the chart conversely emphasized the state of PNG in the group portfolio. This state is also very important to discuss about for the next rest for stock. Why PNG has a little downturn at this time, the group portfolio saw up significantly, and it is reached like the highest value at here. So we can see that the, the, the phenomenon like demonstrate for the extreme distance of PNJ and the other stock in terms of leveraging the annual average return in 2020. So next we have Vinamilk. So overall, we can see that Vinamilk have a downturn tendency throughout the period, and Vinamilk also have the lower value in 2022, and so well the overall performance compared with the VN Index and the group portfolio. To in particular, we can see that Vinamilk seem to have a crisis and its degree in annual average return to lower than minus 20% in 2018, but however to up to the time 2022 it's get worsened. One point we need to notice that Vinamilk remain the same status at PNJ when staying under the whole group portfolio value in 2020. And this also demonstrates for other stock of the annual average return value are significant. The value of other stock that make the group portfolio sort of like this. We can also see that Vinamilk also get a competitions in spite of being decreasing a lot. And in the next 2 years, which is from 2018 to 2022, Vinamilk cut down the distance with VN index and the whole group portfolio in general. So we have come to our third stock, which is our VCB. So VCB represents for the similarity between its shape in the VN index in terms of the tendency of movement from 2017 to 2019. But somehow VCB led the competition when it picked the chart in 2019. Furthermore, we can see that the YVN index continuously rose in the next 2 years from 2019 to 2021, which means like make a steady path to hit the bottom in 2021, make it lowest. So again, about the story of the value of 2020 of the portfolio compared with chosen stock, we can see that VCB also like lower than the portfolio in terms of value of annual average return. So that's why it will explain for the rest two stock we have developed that so dynamic that make the average from a portfolio were above the three first stock. So we can see that the first stock, which is XBC, we can see that as stated is at the leverage factor of the portfolio in 2020. So like the annual average return in the REIT portfolio at 2020 acquisition nearly hit 100%, which it developing in AAR and distinctively positioned itself in the market at that time. You can see that how big it were, and the remaining progress from that time were nearly the same as the overall market. It's got a downturn tendency. So one point I need to notice here is that although the progress were not stable, but XPG, PNJ, and VCB are the three stocks which had the impressive performance. Why I'm saying this? Because in this category, they do not position themselves at below 0%, although they have the movements were up and down, up and down. This is also stake for the stock stability and in its financial performance and encourage like we will have some profitable investment under the three stock ticker. So our final stock is SSY, and we can see that SSY is the crucial explanation for the upper tendency of the group portfolio in 2020. We can see that SSY draw out the highest development in terms of achieving nearly 120% in annual average return. This is actually a very spectacular number and can be considered as a dream number for investor. However, like the rolling progress maintained in just only 1 year and then back out to the work situation, we're having the drop down gap nearly minus 170%. So next, my friend okay, he will guide us to our next two analysis, which is the total risk and the systematic risk. Thank you for listening.
Oh, hi everyone. In this part I will illustrate about the tutorial variation and derivations. Variance and derivation are two important coefficients that investor can analyze and make investment decision. It can be said that analyze it portfolio manager or financial advisor, same as the basics measure of risk. And the standard deviation of blue chip stock group often quite low compared to volatile stock. Although a large standard deviation is associated with a high level of risk, and strictly investors often play back the expectation of quality returns. And in general, the variance of the opposed statistic range from 0.4% to 22%, and the standard deviation indicator range from 6.36% to 14.89%. It is easy to see that VCB and VNM are two costs with low variance. Uh, uh, it is 79% and 49% respectively, and standard deviation of 8.88% and 7.02% respectively. Even this intake of V and M is lower than that of our portfolio. This shows the stability of two blue chip stock. This also explains correlations between low risk and return expectation went from 2017 to 2022. The AAR as of these two companies are not really higher than compared to other AARs. Besides the stock with the highest standard deviation is SSI, which is 2.34 times higher than BN index. Second is HPG with 12% as its case. BCB and VNM due to high standard deviation. Companies has successfully delivery has returned to retail investor in recent years, especially in 2020, despite COVID pandemic. SSI and SPG still broke is 111 top 24% and 91 top 85% of ARs respectively. And for the remaining blue chip company PNG, the two indicate a variance standard deviation are on the average respectively Tiger Dance Group portfolio, but it's not provide as SSI and HBJ are close to the markets like VCB and VNM. Perhaps that's why their AARs are still stable levels, but these indicators are considered unsuitable for individual investment with venture capital. So move on to the full the net part is system risk beta coefficient. The task so beta of the stock market the equality weight portfolio according to the textbook. Beta is used to determine the systematic risk of the securities by measuring sensitivity of security to the market change. It is clear that except for market index risk is always equal to 1 and the VNM index risk is less than 1. All other securities are recorded as a value greater than market value. Besides, all stock has a positive beta, which means they will continue to grow the market. As mentioned above, VCB, PNG, SPJ are stock with beta above 1. So the stock price is expected to fluctuate more than market. Regarding VCB in particular, the reasons for the high beta value of banking security is that this industry accounts for a high proportion of market capitalization with a bank capitalization of a lot compared to the VCB. Yes, and in addition, according to the stock, VCB and VNM are considered to be the two securities that have a big influence in Vietnam index. Therefore, VCB beta is recorded as 1.09 and VNM also has a higher beta of 0.7. That will affect portfolio risk the most. On the other hand, VNG records a high beta figure of 1 in the figures. Besides, HBG other beta index that are not inferior to the rest stock with 1.28 similar. The selected portfolio has a beta value of 1.16, which is quite high. So the next part, I would like to invite G to present.
Thank you for introducing me. I'm G, and I'll cover the last part of our group presentations, which is question 5, optimal weights. So in this part, we'll identify the weight of each stock in our portfolio, which results in the portfolio's minimum variance. And so as you can see, the two tables show the change in investing proportions among those selected stock, PNG, VNM, VCB, HBG, and SSI. And the optimal portfolios is built with a lower standard deviations and variance in comparison with the equal ones in order to minimize the risk received for the investors. And our team first calculated its stock monthly rate of return and determined the portfolio monthly rate of return, standard deviations, and variance afterwards. So by using the Excel solver, we set the Sharp as objective and then reduce the portfolio standard deviations by changing the weight values and combining them with some constraints. And also the total weight of the portfolio was then subjected to 1 and no value was negative. So finally, we received the results solved as shown in the second table. And looking closely to the second table, we can see that the equal portfolio and the optimal portfolio are drastically different. The VNM, Vinamilk stock, and VCB Becoming stock together account for nearly 80% of the portfolio sum. So investors should take these stocks into account if they want a more stable and safer portfolio. Given that the standard deviations of these two stocks range from 7.02% to 8.88%. And to lower the risk, the remainders HBG, PNG, and SSI, they are reduced accordingly. So because compared to the VN index, the data of standard deviations are roughly double, which is 6.6% compared to 12.01 and 14.89%. So it is the end of our group presentations, and here's our references. Okay, thank you for your attention.